Good afternoons. This briefing concerns a single asset, your home at 39 Ramsay Road, 5 Dock, and the strategic question of how to convert two converging forces, the Sydney Metro West Line and the 5 Dock rezoning, into capital gain while protecting your tax position. Everything you'll hear is grounded in official sources and clearly labeled as confirmed, assumed, or speculative. Before any numbers, one ground rule. Color code every claim. Green is confirmed against an official source. Amber is a reasoned assumption that still needs a title or planning portal check. Red is professional judgment, useful but not yet evidenced. And to be clear, this is decision support, not advice. 3 facts about your block are our best estimates, pending a title and planning portal check, and we'll tell you which. Here is the whole recommendation in one line. Verify the 3 open facts, keep living in the property to preserve your tax exemption, and stay ready to sell when the planning picture is certain. The value here is unlocked by 2 confirmed catalysts, the Metro opening in 2032 and the precinct rezoning heading to public exhibition this year. But the single most powerful lever is tax. A home sale is capital gains tax-free, and very little development upside can beat tax-free. Let's start with today, what you can and can't do under the current rules. Today, on the most likely reading, this is a modest R2 low-density block, and at around 398 square meters, it's probably below the minimum lot size to subdivide. So as of right, it's a single home site. 2 housekeeping points. First, order a Section 10(7) certificate. It's the authoritative list of overlays, flood, heritage, acid sulfate soils. Second, there's an older Ramsay Road planning proposal that people confuse with this. It covered numbers 1 to 7 only, and it's already finished. It does not affect number 39. Now the opportunity, the rezoning that the Metro is driving. This is the engine of any upside. The Council's 5 Dock precinct proposal is a 20-year framework. It expands mixed-use zoning and lifts a large area to high-density residential. With a clever twist, you get base height for free, but extra height only if you contribute public benefit. Now, where does your block fall? Our best estimate is that it sits inside the precinct and is uplifted to R4 high-density residential, direct uplift, not the edge. That boundary check is the highest value piece of homework. Here's the runway. The proposal is endorsed, enlarged, those are confirmed. The state's gateway decision and a public exhibition in the second half of this year are next. Final gazettal, the moment your zoning becomes legally certain, realistically lands in 2027 or 2028. Mark that date. Certainty is when the market pays the most, because the buyer no longer has to price in planning risk. The Metro is a 2-act story. Act 1, between now and 2032, is mostly disruption, construction at the town center, and a planning uncertainty discount on edge blocks. Act 2, after opening, is the premium, a walkable center, stronger rents, and serious developer demand for consolidated sites. Your walk to the station entrance is about 6 minutes, roughly 450 meters, and proximity is exactly what the premium is paid for. Confirm it on a map. If you take one idea away, take this. The value in your block is not something you can realize today by selling a small house. It's a story that unlocks over time, when the rezoning is certain and when your block can join its neighbors into a developable site. Structured patience is the asset here. So who actually buys this and when? On its own, this block is too small for a developer. Apartment sites need 1,500 to 2,500 square meters and a wide frontage. So the real prize is amalgamation, combining 3 to 6 adjoining homes into one developable site. And the appetite is demonstrably here. Daycorp paid $260 million for an assembled site nearby, and One Global Capital just launched a $1.5 billion precinct. Your most likely buyer is a developer quietly assembling the block, often through option agreements. These are judgment calls, not facts, but they're useful for timing. In the next year, a premium is unlikely, it's simply too early. The probability climbs steeply once the zoning is certain and the metro nears. The 3 to 6 and 6 to 10-year windows are where a developer is most likely to pay up, provided your block is inside the uplift. What swings it most in your favor? Confirmed high-density zoning, willing neighbors, and proximity. What kills it? One holdout neighbor or an oversupplied market. Now the money, value, your strategic options, and the tax overlay. Let's talk numbers, and I'll stress these are illustrative, not a valuation. The suburb's median house is around 2.8 million. As a small, low-density lot, your block sits below that. If the uplift is confirmed, an individual lot carries a development potential premium. But the step change is amalgamation. Developers pay a site rate, not a house rate, and that's where you could see 3.5 to 5 million or more. The premium over today's value could plausibly run from 25 to 80%, but only with confirmed zoning and a working assembly. Get a registered valuer to firm these up. You have 10 options. Let me cut to the 4 that matter. Do this first. Option H, a small spend on planning and feasibility advice to turn unknowns into facts. Then default to A, hold as your home, which preserves the tax exemption while you ride the uplift. The high upside play is D, a coordinated sale with your neighbors as one site, but it lives or dies on cooperation. And milestone F, waiting for gazettal, is when zoning certainty peaks the price. 2 warnings. Option agreements can trigger tax and GST, so get advice. And developing it yourself, option J, typically destroys your exemption. Avoid it. This is where the strategy is actually decided. The headline, if you sell the whole property as your home, the gain is generally capital gains tax-free. That's the main residence exemption. Now watch the traps. Rent it out, and you erode the exemption. Subdivide and sell a vacant block, and that block is not exempt. Get a development approval, joint venture, or run a profit-making scheme, and the tax office can treat the whole thing as income. You lose the 50% discount and the exemption, and GST can apply. The lesson is simple. A tax-free home sale is a very high bar for any development plan to beat. Here's the plan on a page. In the next 3 months, spend a little to verify the 3 open facts: the certificate, the zoning, the boundary, the walk, and a valuer and tax agent briefing. Over 12 months, track the gateway and the exhibition, lodge a submission if the edge treatment matters, and crucially, keep living there to protect the exemption, while quietly gauging which neighbors might sell. At the 3-year mark, once zoning is gazetted, you decide. A coordinated, amalgamated sale if the assembly is real, otherwise treat it as the lovely home it is. And before the metro opens in 2032, weigh banking the premium ahead of the apartment supply wave. So, to close, verify the open facts, hold the property as your main residence, and stay ready to sell. That combination maximizes your capital gain, keeps it tax-free, and lets planning certainty, not impatience, set your price. Treat this as a starting framework. Confirm the specifics with your planner, valuer, and tax advisor, and you'll be making this decision from strength. Thank you.